Okay, we are live. I'm gonna go on here and share real quick.
Okay.
Hmm. I'm gonna be the fidgety one, huh? All right. Let's- Come on. Okay, we'll just edit privacy public. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hey, it's your girl, Miss Trina with Chat with Trina. And I am so excited because this month is Women's History Month. So I am using my platform to recognize women that are doing big, wonderful things. I want you to remember that this month I'm starting a new award that is called We See You. The We See You Award. It'll be given away once a month. It'll be a surprise. People that I kind of watch and see what they're doing because a lot of people get awards for what they've done in the past, but what about those who are just getting started? Just starting out, they just need that little push to say, "Oh my God, I see what you're doing." So that's why it's called the We See You. We see you, girl. We see you get doing things. So it'll be starting this month. I'm going to give out 3 this month because I missed January, February, March because I've been planning a cruise. But we're going to catch up, and every month I will be giving out this award, and it should mean the world to you. I hope it does because it is something a lot of people don't do. They don't always recognize those who are just starting out because we need that. We need someone to say, "We
Absolutely.
see you. Go for it." But I am here. I'm so excited that I'm here with Miss LeCreame, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
saw a different name up there. Simpson Jinks. Hi there, ma'am.
Hi, how are you? Happy to be here. I'm loving hearing about the awards. That's awesome.
Yes, I'm so excited. I've been trying to think of I have a oh gosh, wait a minute, y'all. I got a new phone today, so I'm playing with it. I have a really good friend who's kind of been a mentor to me, and he has an award called it's almost like the We See You Award, but he has a big event and he brings people out that he does not know who they are. But he
Mm.
sees them doing different things on social media and he calls them out and recognizes them. I thought that was so cool. I was like, what could I do not to copy, but to mirror?
Absolutely. I think that's awesome because a lot of times people stress that they don't get the congratulatory applause and things of that nature from friends and peers. So to see an outsider that actually watches what they're doing and congratulates them, that's awesome. I know that's going to be
Yes.
amazing.
Because sometimes you don't think people see you.
They see
You know
you.
what I mean? They see you. So
Yes.
we're gonna get started. And thank you again. One, I also want to take a moment to shout out Miss Amber Lowe. I really enjoyed meeting her. And I always tell people this story. I had this thing where I said, I don't do women. I don't do and she has been one of there's been 2 before her, but she has shown me that we do have a sisterhood out here. There are some positive women that embrace each other and help each other move up and forward. And thank Amber, just thank you so much for being there
Absolutely.
and doing your part of bringing us sisters together, if you will.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amber.
Yes, that's my girl. So we're gonna get started. Tell us about you. Tell us your. I know I introduced you, but go ahead and tell us your name and.
Absolutely. Well, my name is LeCreame Simpson Jinks. I'm the CEO of First Source Adjuster School, also the J Design, which is an interior design company that focuses on residential and commercial design. I also focus heavily on veteran outreach. So that's a big part of what our nonprofit does. We focus on the transition of veterans basically from the service to civilian life. So that's a big part and big piece of what we do. And we're just really big community activists. We try and stay in the forefront of what's happening in the community.
Awesome, awesome. What inspired you to found an insurance adjustment school?
So, funny thing. So, I think I am one of those people that they say, hey, you are the risk taker. You are the entrepreneur, the serial entrepreneur. That's me. So, honestly, I was doing very well in other sectors,
Uh-huh.
and business started to slow down. And when you're used to a certain income and you don't have that anymore, you start looking at other ways to do it. And it actually kind of fell into my lap by a mutual friend, and I didn't move on it right away. It took a little while, but then finally I said, you know what? Let me look into this and see exactly what this is all about. So started to work claims myself, and I thought that this was very interesting and very lucrative. and the money was coming quickly. So I said, wow, this is definitely something that I can get into. And so I got my husband aboard. And so he and I began working claims. And from there, it became more of a mission, our ministry.
Mm.
Who can we tell? How many people can we help? And honestly, it just started off with, hey, we need to tell our community about what's happening,
Yeah.
because I don't think that they are aware. And if they are, our community is really big on this can't be true. This is too good to be true.
Definitely. That's me.
Yes. So you miss out on a lot. Look. So look, I tell you that. I'm definitely a risk taker,
Mm.
calculated, but I'm risque. And so
Mm.
I decided to move forward in a different direction with it, which was focusing more on educating individuals about it. And then
Mm.
we went to a training, and I noticed in the training there was about 300 people and only a few looked like me. So I said, this is my calling now, to spread this good word, this good gospel,
Right.
and let people know that this exists. Because again, I'll be honest, when I got into the industry and even today, this is almost like quiet is kept. A lot of people don't know that this exists. And if they
Wow.
do, they don't know the earning potential. They don't know what they can make actually doing it. And so
Mhm.
it became a mission. And then it kind of got bigger than we ever could have imagined. It went from, hey, let me tell our friends and neighbors, to, hey, people are flying in from out of state to take classes
Oh.
monthly, online classes, or book, and so it just really took over. It took its own legs. And so we're just blessed.
Yes. What are some of the things that you hear after people take it? Like, are they excited? Are they starting their own businesses?
So they are very excited. And so when you initially get into this industry, it's more claims handling and just learning how to function within the industry. Because
Mhm.
entering into the industry, it's a six-figure salary. So yeah, so entering into the industry with no experience, this is what you're looking at, right? And so
Mhm.
obviously you perfect your craft and you grow and you become more marketable, and you're able to obviously command a little bit more, and you get to decide the who, what, when, where, and why, right?
Yes.
So it really intrigues students in the class, but our goal is always, once it's over, right? Everyone comes
Mhm.
to the class with expectations, right? And then we have to really, I guess, if for lack of a better word, pour into them how this process has to go, right? And so as far as starting their own businesses, they are their own business once they're licensed. Once you're licensed, you're your own business,
Okay.
because you are the decision maker if you are an independent adjuster.
Oh, okay. Um, as a woman business as a business strategist, and we're talking Women's History Month. So as a woman business strategist and a military veteran, how have your unique experiences, I can't even, shaped your approach to entrepreneurship and leadership as well?
Absolutely. So I'm very military in how I operate business. I'm very
Mhm.
organized, and so that really helps. And then I'm also risky. I do believe in taking calculated risks, which I do believe women should become comfortable with. I have I have a lot of women that I'm close to as far as events and things, and I've noticed that it really boils down to fear. A lot of women, don't jump off that cliff, right? Because
Mhm,
it's
mhm,
scary. It's
mhm.
scary, and it is. When I started my very first business years ago, because I've been an entrepreneur for years. When I
Right.
started back in 2010, with my journey, it was really a hope and a prayer.
Right.
It was a hope and a prayer. Lord, please, okay? I
Yes,
can't go
yes,
back. Look,
yes,
I got to
yes.
do me.
I've come too far. You
Look, I
brought
got
me
to do
too far
me.
for me to go back.
Exactly. I got to do me. And so after working overseas doing 712s for a contracting company, which I loved and learned a lot, I really embodied a lot of what I learned over there outside of the military.
Mm.
Because again, I actually had 300 foreign nationals under me. I had, individuals from the United States under me as well. And then just how the operation was ran, I respected it. I didn't always like it because, hey, I was an employee, but I respected how the
Mhm.
operation was ran. And so a lot of what I learned, I embody now. And coming from early childhood development, as far as owning a daycare, which was one of my early businesses, that really helps on the side of how we put programs together and how we
Mhm.
put the information out, because
Yeah.
remember, you deal with different learning styles. So sometimes you have people that have ADHD. You have a lot of different
Mhm.
things that come through.
I
So
wouldn't have even thought about that way.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that prepared me for all of that and the way that I teach and my
Okay.
approach.
Okay. Someone's sending me something. So tell me about some of the insights into the challenges that you faced as a woman in the
Uh-huh.
military and then in business.
Oh goodness. Well, in the military, you said it. I was a woman, so it's different, when you are a woman.
Yeah.
So for me, I would really say, just going up the ranks, you start to really see the changes, right? When you're
Mhm.
kind of lower level, it's not really anything to shout about, because the military is full of women, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when you start to move up the ranks, I think that's when you really start to see a lot of what's happening. And then the same in business. As long as you are, kind of down here, you don't really, splash and make a lot of puddles,
Mhm.
nobody really
Mhm.
bothers you. But when you
Right.
start really making some noise and
That.
people really start to notice you and notice what
Mhm.
you're doing, then you ruffle a little feathers.
Mhm.
I will say that this industry is male dominated. I'll be honest.
Like so many of them.
It is. But for me, I don't care much about that.
Okay.
I can get in
Yeah.
any room and talk to anyone about anything, and promote anything that I am doing or that we have going on. So
Mhm.
that's never been an issue for me. And the good thing is too, I work hand in hand with my husband. So if it can't be me, it'll be him.
Right, right. So in this business, have you ever had to, how would you tell a woman to handle that when they come into a challenging space with someone of the opposite sex?
Ooh.
Because women are being called, if we stand up for ourselves, or we become the bitch word, right?
Of course. And I'm just going to be honest. That's just what it is. If you're vocal, if you are very, as a matter of fact, you
Hmm.
will get tagged
Yeah.
as these labels, right?
Hmm.
But for a
Hmm.
male doing that, oh, that's him doing business.
Yes.
This guy is really, he's on the fast track. But for you, you do get that pushback. So I really
Hmm.
would tell female entrepreneurs that are on the fast track, or even just starting out, you
Hmm.
prepare yourself. It's okay. It's going to happen. It's really just
Hmm.
how you handle it as you move up that ladder. And if you can't handle it, you might want to get out of entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
because it's going to happen. And no matter what industry you're in, you have to be able to roll with those punches. And
And have
and,
a
and
thick skin per se.
yes,
Yeah.
and you can't take everything personal.
Mm.
This is business, and it's, to a man, it's business too,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
It's business. So having that mantra for me, it's helped me go far, and I don't take things personally. I'm a
Yeah.
Capricorn.
So that's probably a really big thing. I'll say that for me in business. I've been doing nightlife for a long time, which is male dominated.
Mhm,
But sometimes it can definitely get under your skin. But
mhm,
sometimes when you start into your spiritual journey too,
mhm.
it starts to change. You may take a
Uh-huh.
day or so to do it, but yeah, that's the toughest part, I think, for some women who are like what you like the opposite of what you said, take it personal. And
Yeah,
that's when it's gonna really mess with you.
because you're it's too many emotions. You're
Too
so
many emotions.
emotional, and it's clouding your judgment, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
we get angry, right?
Yeah.
We're like, ugh.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And now we're pissed, so we got to prove a point, right? No,
Gotta prove a point.
we got to prove a point. We got to prove that, hey, we deserve to be here. Hey,
Yeah.
my work will speak for myself. I will tell this story really quickly. When
Mhm.
we started out in business, we would call around, call to different companies, because we really wanted to do company to company work.
Right.
We didn't get anywhere with it. But guess what? We stopped that and focused on the work, and they started to call us. So
Love
I
that.
said, we had a conversation years back. My husband and I laughed and said, hey, you remember when we were calling relentlessly? Right? And now look, they call us,
Right.
they email us.
Love it. Love it. How long has your school been open?
So
And
the
do you
school,
have more than one location?
so the school has been open since 2013. And
Okay.
we have one location because it's a huge warehouse with
Got
training cars and different things inside of it that we use.
got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And so you're saying people fly in. I
they
think
fly
that's
in.
so cool.
They fly in.
Um, in what
And
way? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, no, I was gonna say, and the crazy thing is, we get the most random. referrals. Oh, I was in the back of an Uber and the guy told me, hey, you should come here. We get, I mean, really, I will promise you, we probably had more than 150 Uber drivers just because someone got into
Wow.
Uber and told them that they should try this. Or an Uber driver told them. They may have
Right.
not taken the course, right? But they have gotten the information and they're sharing
For
it.
someone else. Yeah. And grassroots, old school, word of mouth, because you said
Yes,
your work speaks for itself, is still the best thing going. It
it's
really
key.
is. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
key because
In
you have
what ways do
someone that
you
can vet it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because you have someone that can vet it.
You have that, especially if they've seen your work and know what you've done. They're able to be that also referral, to be able to say, "Hey, this is what I've done. This happened to me," or they know someone that's been through your school and can give the
Absolutely.
test. That's the word I'm looking for. Testimony
There you
of your
go.
work and your because even for me, I always believe in. Okay, I may complain if something's not right at a restaurant, let's say, but I promise you, I do just as many and more when someone treats me really good.
Right.
I used to say, so I do not like CC's Pizza. Sorry, CC's. I do not like it.
We
But
used to love CC's
do
back
you
in the
know why I
day.
go to CC's? But you know why I go? I will go and spend my money at CC's because when I walk in the door from the day they started, hey, welcome to CC's. And I
Yes.
just love that. I just think that, and some people have tried to take that and use it, and it's not the same. It just made me feel welcome. And used to have when I had little kids, that's where we went because they were gonna say. And then when I leave, sometimes they'll say me bye, like, "Oh, y'all recognize I'm leaving," and
Right.
you being noticed, and it just felt good. So,
They built that
sweetie, I still
relationship.
come to you because you say hi to me.
Right. And they built a relationship. And I will say this about women as well. This is important in business. Customer service is so important. I don't know who gave out entrepreneurial lessons and left that out. They left that out. Sis, come
Totally.
back and get it. You need
Mhm.
it. You
Mhm.
need
Mhm.
professionalism and you need customer service. And that even means the people that you hire. So, yes, at CC's and places like that, I love. I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's
Yes.
inviting.
It's inviting and it's very welcoming. You have think about have a hard day and you walk in and you just walking with this bad day and all of a sudden you hear somebody say, "Hey," and
Right.
they look really happy.
And we
So
know that
yeah,
pizza is still apart, but we're going to eat it.
there you go. And I'm gonna eat a lot of it. And I'm
Right.
gonna make sure you
Okay.
talk to me.
Yes,
So
indeed.
yes, yes. I'll say there was a band the other day that told me they didn't agree with something that I had to do, and they said to me, people say we're hard to deal with,
Mm,
but those people that say that they're just not professional because professionalism is hard. Professionalism looks hard, and they're a very aggressive organization. And I explained to them that professionalism doesn't always have to look hard.
it
It
shouldn't
does
look
not.
hard.
Why does
What does
professional
that mean exactly?
you know and for what I know of this group and what's been said, they're a little difficult to work with.
Okay.
It makes you not want to work, or you have stress before you have the conversation with them. Before you get there, you got to get yourself together. That is too much
Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's too much for me too.
Yeah,
Are
some
they a
people just never
chain
want to work.
business or are these like is this a chain? Because oftentimes,
No, it's actually it's actually a singing music kind of thing.
okay, because usually when you have chain, businesses or franchises, people tend to treat you how they want
How they want, yeah.
because, hey, it's plenty locations. If I don't service you, oh well,
Right,
right? But
right.
when you have a business like the Little Diva Chat with Trina,
Mhm.
you're going to operate differently because it's you, right?
That's it,
You're going to
right.
operate differently.
Hmm. And even as that in any industry, to me, I would never want to, and I did say that. I said, professionalism or customer service does not look hard. It does not look aggressive. Now, yes, and I try to always people that are good to me. We work good together. I'm gonna always be good. Especially if I'm gonna make my money and you gonna
Right.
pay me, we gonna be good. Now, on the other hand, assertiveness, not aggressiveness,
There you
not
go.
hard.
Hmm.
Assertiveness will come in if I see that you're trying to get over, you
Hmm.
ain't paying me my money, then that may come in. But it never has to be hard. And I can smile. I can
Absolutely.
smile and say,
Through it
hey, you
all.
know what? This may not be working out for us, but I'm doing with a smile because we're still good. We can still have
Exactly.
this is just not for us.
Hmm.
So it does not have to look hard. So I said all that to say customer service is a big deal to me too.
It's
You
huge.
know.
And I see so many horror stories, posts, women in business, and we get the flack of that. We
Mm-hmm,
really
mm-hmm,
do. Black business owners really get the flack for it. And I will say this, and this was crazy. My husband and I laughed at it. We
mm-hmm.
were we were going into class one morning, and they some students walked in and they were like, "Oh my God, I think the owners are black." And they were black, right? And so I guess they just watched the operation, the organization, how we were organized and things. And then at the very end, they came over and said, "Hey," now maybe they didn't know we heard them, right? So at the very end, they said, "You know what? I really was going to turn around and leave when I saw that you guys were black." Really? Why? Because I've been to some businesses and it was just, and they ran down the list of all the different things that they
Mm-hmm,
dealt with and so
mm-hmm.
forth. So I think everybody, that operates of color, we kind of get thrown into this
We
big
do.
pool, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Of unprofessionalism and so forth, when that's really not the case.
It's really, yeah, right. Not all at all. My daughter even says this thing about you can fire a customer. Going back to the other, you can fire a customer. It's okay. But
Yeah,
she mentioned that too one day. We were talking about, I don't know what we were talking about, but she was saying sometimes we as African American people, black people, we will down our business. Oh, they were horrible. They had bad customers, so we're not going to support them anymore. But another business, your McDonald's, your Burger King, these people that are owned by people that may
chain
not look
businesses,
like us, we'll keep going
chain
back to
business,
them. We won't
chain
throw
businesses, like
them
I was
all
saying.
over the place to say, "Oh, they're horrible. Let's not go there." You know. So we had that conversation before, and I always think that that's interesting.
And it is, and the funny thing about that is, we're hard on us. We're hard on us,
Our
right?
expectations are higher.
It is, and you know what? I'm not angry because
Yeah.
while I am pro everything us, I
Mhm.
support everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you do good business,
Mhm.
I will patronize you. And
Mhm.
sometimes people that look exactly like me, sometimes the business is not up to par. And
Mhm.
it's not to say that it's because you're a black business owner. It's just
Right.
maybe your operations or they don't align with what I'm doing,
Mhm.
right? Or they
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
your policies don't align with what I'm trying to
Mhm.
accomplish,
Mhm.
sometimes. And so I make the
And
best
I
decision
will
for the company.
and I will give people a chance now because I know if you're doing
Oh yeah,
something new, I got you. I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna just throw you to the curb because
absolutely.
especially if I know that I've watched you and seen the good things you do, but you're stepping out on something new. So I
I
got you
think
because I'm gonna be there.
communication is
Now
good
you
too.
keep
If you
on, if you're
communicate,
showing that you're not really trying, you just threw something together. That's a whole different story. You know what I
right.
mean?
I do. I totally understand. That's why I try to be a really great communicator of art and articulate exactly what my needs are, and
Mhm.
if they're not being met. And so I'm thankful to have dealt with people who have also been pretty good at that and understanding
Mhm.
to those things. And so I think those people they'll be great long run because no
Yes.
matter what is thrown their way, they know how to have a conversation. It's not personal. They can take care of business and push.
Right. Right. In what ways do you leverage your expertise to support and uplift other women?
Oh goodness. So I'm the girly girl, right? And I'm the girl's girl. Okay. So I definitely enjoy pouring back into my lady
Yes.
friends, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So we anytime that I can pull something together, I do. I'm the girl that generally pulls something together. We did a Pink Friday at the end of last year. And so it was all about the pink PJs. We came over and you know what?
Oh,
It was all about the ladies, right? Although we may have spoke about men and things of that nature,
mhm.
it was more about us. It was more about what
Right.
we needed, things that we needed to do for ourselves, how we needed to focus more on us. So
Right.
anything that I can do, and it's not always business for me. I'll be
Mhm.
honest. Like, people know that I have business. I talk about my business, but I do kind of pay attention to my forums,
Right.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Sometimes that's just not what people need, or what ladies need. And so if it comes up, my expertise, I'll definitely, share it.
Yeah.
But sometimes, we just need to be ladies and we just need to be like one another, right?
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
here, you're here. We're not
Mhm.
all that.
It takes away
Everybody's
the intimidation and the
yes.
insecurity of them when you step away. Yeah.
And so
Um,
I really find myself having lots of conversations with a lot of women about different things that they may be going through and just uplift. I try to do that
yeah.
as much as possible because we don't have a lot of that happening. I don't see a lot of, hey, lean on me, sis.
Mhm.
Lean on me, sis. I got this going on, or hey, I see. It's how we are to it. If something's happening, girl, tell me what's going on, right? You want to know, right?
You want to know, you want to know.
Right? You want to get some
Yes,
tea,
yes, yes,
but
yes.
sometimes sis just needs to. Hey, she might just need to cry and just sit there and stare, and not be
Not say
judged.
anything. Mhm,
Exactly,
mhm,
and
mhm,
you got to be
mhm.
that kind of friend too. So any way that I can pour in business wise, or just being a lady, being a girl,
Yeah.
being a girl's girl, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. I am a dyad coordinator for HISD, and
Okay,
so I hire people on to come on to teach enrichment courses.
okay.
And so I had a class that I started at the wrong time, so I'm gonna redo it next year. But I had two ladies that were teaching younger, this is middle school.
Mhm.
They were teaching them about how to walk. I was like charm
Yeah,
school. I
uh-huh.
went to charm school
Like
when I was a little
etiquette.
girl. It was like
Mhm,
charm school. You're showing them how to
uh-huh.
walk, but they let them journal and talk about. And the funny thing about it is, the sad thing about it is, some of them with COVID and stuff, kids are
Yeah.
behind with spelling, so that kind of concerned me. But at the end of the day, they started trusting the two young ladies that I had teaching it, and the things that came out of it. The some things you wouldn't realize people are thinking or wondering as a little girl or as a middle
Mhm.
school girl.
Right.
So when you say that about listening, being able to lean on each other, that's what they were doing with this particular
That's
class.
good.
I just think it wasn't the right time. I did it at the mid year, and it should have been the beginning of the year. But anyway, I think it would have been really good. But
I think
on
that's
that
great
note, I'm
too.
just saying, having someone, when you talked about lean on me, that was what I thought about for these middle school girls, because they're at the age they don't really want to talk to their parents about stuff. They don't have anybody, and they're talking to their little friends. That don't work. So
Uh-uh.
to have two
And these
ladies to
middle
come in and
schoolers.
talk was
Oh,
really, really good.
oh, exactly. I have one.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yes.
We gotta
Yes.
love them though.
Yes.
But
They're,
yes.
they're little bitty people, but they
Oh,
have some grown adults,
big person out, big
adult,
everything.
big everything. Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
So can you talk to us a little bit about your work with a little bit more about the work in the community that you do?
Gotcha. So every year we really pour into the kids and the veterans. So that's a really big thing close to me. And I'm picking up a new initiative. I'm really focusing a lot more this year. We're going to be hosting an event in May, and I'll send details, so
Okay.
that you'll have it. But we're hosting an event, and I'm really wanting to target mental health a little bit more because I am just really witnessing and seeing so much in this area, that I'm just not sure if we're just educated enough on it, or not necessarily on it, but how to deal with it. Not
Deal
if
with it.
you're
Mhm.
experiencing it, but if someone close to you is experiencing it, how do you deal with that? Right? Because this
Yeah.
person is different. Right. And so that affects your relationship with them. So being able to handle that, not necessarily saying you're dealing with mental illness, but
Right.
how to handle someone else that's close to you that's dealing with it. So that's something new for us this year.
And
But
that's good because that's a total flip of
yes.
what we're really usually learning about.
Mhm. Absolutely. And so from that point, just things that we do on a regular basis, heavily during the holiday season, we host these
Mhm.
huge toy drives with Santa Claus and
Oh,
lots of toys for the kids, and try our best to take them to sporting events. All by
oh,
absolutely. And these are kids that wouldn't ordinarily have opportunities to do that. Right. So
mhm.
that's been a blessing. We've had sponsors bless us with tickets to support students in this way. So it's really been awesome. And then Thanksgiving, we've been blessed to provide the meals, the turkeys, the food. We've worked with
Got it.
organizations, lots of nonprofits who have also partnered with us to give goods to different people, different communities. So that's been amazing.
Oh, I
Even
love that.
yes, yes. And even with back to school, just picking individuals and giving personal bags and different things of that nature to them individually. So that's kind of been our focus. And obviously whenever we have these major storms and things of that nature, we're
Mhm,
there in the midst of
mhm,
that with,
mhm,
the
mhm.
toiletries and things of that nature.
So with your veterans, how do you guys um Or do people recommend them to you guys? Do you have some type of way of getting who you need to touch?
I'm so glad that you asked that question. So, as far as our veterans are concerned, we actually have veterans that reach out to us. We do events where we run into veterans, or we do events that are geared towards supporting veterans. But we always ask that if anyone knows veterans and or anyone with a disability, and they're interested in starting a new career, or they're interested in adding an additional stream, to definitely reach out to us, and we definitely can help support them and point them in the right direction to get them started.
Okay, that's amazing. I love that.
Mhm,
Here's a big question.
mhm,
Now, you are a wife,
mhm.
a mother,
Yes.
entrepreneur,
Mhm.
community activist per se. How do you manage all of those hats and still keep your sanity?
Well, let me say this first. Look,
Because
I'm
you wear them
saying,
well. You wear them hats well.
yes, look, I'm saying thank the Lord, but I will say a lot of that comes from my husband because he's very helpful.
Okay.
He is very, very helpful, and that's influential in me being able to relax, because if not, my anxiety would be through the roof. I'm just going to be honest. Because when you have a full plate, and I'm a Capricorn, I need to get things done.
Got to get
I
it
mean,
done.
so for me, it's important to be able to relax and delegate these tasks, or have him just take tasks away from me,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
especially household things. So my husband is really good with, hey, I can handle things at the office. I'm taking care of things at the office. When we get here, hey, he may go and cook dinner.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
he helps in that way. Or hey, he folds clothes because he knows I hate
Mhm.
to do it. They will
Right.
pile up like
And they may
Mount
be there for
Everest.
weeks at a time.
Right, they will pile up like Mount Everest, but and it works for us because we share. We share
Mhm,
duties, we
mhm.
share responsibilities. So me being able to focus on the companies and the business, it helps because he takes care of the house. He does a lot
Right,
around the house. Now, not to say that he does it all, we
right,
share.
right.
But that really helps me, and it helps lower my anxiety. And I am this person who, when I get in the bed at night, like, I have to be rubbed because it
It
settles me
calms
all
it.
the way down.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
calms me all the way down. So
yeah.
when you have a full plate, like, people pray for success and all
Mhm.
these things, but guess what? It's a lot that comes with that. It is a lot, and you are constantly busy, and the sad thing is you lose people along the way because they don't understand. They may take it personal that you just can't come, you can't show up, or you can't
Mhm.
participate. And it's not personal, it's just your plate is so full that if you don't take 5 minutes for you, you might explode.
You might, yes, you have.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I definitely believe in the self care part of
yeah.
that. I didn't used to, but I've learned to
Oh,
just sometimes
yes.
be like, I gotta just stop. Because to
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest with you, if you don't stop yourself, your body gonna stop you, and it's gonna stop you at the wrong time when you're supposed to be doing something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That
I
never
tell you,
fails for me.
I live by self-care. No
Yeah.
one ever had to tell me to do that. My husband tells me, it's like, you is just spoiled. If that's what I am, I'll have to be that, because I live by self-care, and I don't
Right.
consider my nails and things like that self-care.
Uh-huh,
You
uh-huh.
know, for me, obviously, I do love massages and facials. Don't get me
Right.
wrong, I love that. But for me, self-care looks like a lot of different things. It looks like me sitting in the shower for an hour, just sitting, water
Mhm,
running on me,
mhm,
because at this
mhm.
point I'm not thinking about anything. It also looks like this because my husband always talks and my kids even make fun of me. They always, what you want to eat? What are we eating today? Look, don't ask me. I'm not making any more decisions today.
That
Okay. I'm
yeah.
I'm done. I'm done making decisions. And then when they say, okay, you want to eat this? No, I don't want that.
LeCreame, do you know that I don't buy, the plugins that they have at Bath and Body Works?
Yes, I love
You
them.
know why I don't buy them?
Why?
Too many decisions. There are too many. Like,
Yes.
I'll go in, I'll be like, okay, I
And
gotta
people
leave
don't
out.
realize that affects your brain. Having to make so many decisions all day, people are counting
Too
on you. So you
much.
have to get somewhere where you can just say, I'm not
Yes.
making any decisions today.
That is the only reason I have my regular little plug-in, old school plug-in, because it was too many.
Yes. And people don't realize that. And they
Yeah,
do not realize that.
they do not.
Absolutely.
Now, I read Russell Simmons' book, and he talked about something that I related to about how your brain just won't stop. Like
Hmm.
you're always thinking. What do you do to turn that off? Or do you ever turn it off?
So let me say this, Trina. So look, I try,
Yes.
but as a business owner, I just don't feel like I just don't feel like you can turn it all the way off. Now you can remove yourself from it,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Like we
mm-hmm.
will take vacations. At the first of the year, we took a 9-day cruise. We were gone. I can remove myself from it,
Yeah.
but I can't turn myself off
Yeah.
to it. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
Now I can, monitor how much I'm doing when I'm not away because I try not to do, because the team can handle, what needs to be done. And if there's something that I need to give approval on or answer, I'll do that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, detaching is it's difficult for me.
It is
It's really
hard.
hard. And I will say I don't try to detach as much as most people would think because I
Uh-huh.
love what I do.
That's
And
true.
it's not really hard work to me, you
Mm-hmm,
know,
mm-hmm.
because I love it. I'm genuine with what I do, with what I put out, with who I help. So, for me, it comes easy.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. My husband and I, we had this conversation and we laughed and we talked about it on our podcast, the Missing Piece podcast.
All right.
And it was funny because he says to me, he says, you are always, I'm always something, right? So he says, you're always that person who I want to make sure that I'm getting, look, I
You
got to get
said
his words, right? Because when he listens, he's going to say, you know what? No, that's not what I say. It's
that's
not how
not
I
what I said.
It's not what I said. I don't say it like that. When we go places and, we have dinners and stuff like that, we had to make a rule. This is how crazy it was. We had to make a rule. When we go eat or when we're out, we won't talk business.
Yeah,
We
I definitely can see that.
we won't talk business. And then guess what? After we talked about everything else, we start talking business.
That comes naturally.
Right. And it's just like, and it's not like it's for us, I guess it's not a bad thing as long as we
Mm-hmm.
can say whatever we're gonna say and move on. But I'm gonna come back to something that he said when it pops back into my head. But
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
we actually had to have sit down meetings about how to manage our lives
Yeah.
because it can be difficult. Wife, mom, all of this, husband,
Yeah.
executive director,
Yeah.
all these different things. So we had to find time to focus on just us,
Yes.
just he and I, because
Mm-hmm.
we didn't want to turn into, hey, we're business partners.
And you're passing through each other like you're, yeah.
And we work together.
Mm-hmm.
We ride to work together. We have one office that we share together. So that's
Wow.
all day together, right?
Yes.
And we're best friends and it doesn't even bother us.
That is wonderful.
And here's the crazy part. When we get in the car, it's still like, hey, how was your day? Like
I'm just telling
because
you.
technically he has his tasks and duties and things that he's doing. I have my tasks and things that I'm doing. I can't just sit, we don't just sit and look at each other's face and talk.
Right,
We don't do
right,
that,
right. You're
So
almost in a whole nother role or another, yeah, I get that.
I'm Miss Jinks at work or Miss LeCreame and he's
Yeah,
Donald. You know, we're not even in our babe,
yeah.
whatever we usually call each other. We're
Uh-huh.
we're we're in a totally different role.
Okay, okay. That's the first time I've heard that. It's the
Totally
first time
different
I've heard
role.
that. Crazy.
And it
Um,
works.
exactly. So how long about me asking how long you've been married?
15 years. Well, we've been together 15 years, married 14.
Oh wow, okay. And the kiddos, you have more than one?
18-year-old, 12-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
Oh wow, you have a fun one, a 3-year-old.
Yeah, well, he just turned 4, so let me correct that. And we're a blended family. So my husband has
Okay.
older kids, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, we have older kids outside of the
Probably.
house, so we're a blended bunch of about 6.
Okay. Oh, fun. That sounds.
Mhm.
I always wanted a big family. It didn't happen, but yeah.
And they're all grown now. It's like when everybody gets older, they start doing their own thing and stuff
Um,
like that. But yes,
yeah. That
I,
is, yeah.
he's definitely the dad's dad.
Oh,
He's
really?
gonna be outside with them, and look, my allergies too bad. No.
I'll catch y'all when y'all come. We do an inside activity.
Yes, inside I'm with y'all. Look, all that outside fishing. Look, my allergies too bad.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah, yeah. Exactly. I did the fishing one day. My kids used to go with my dad for fishing, and that just was never my. I went. But
Yeah.
it was no need to be going because you'd have a horrible time because you can see I'm having a horrible time. So
Well, he
I
likes for
stopped
me to
taking it for the
go.
team. Yeah.
He likes for me to go because what I've done,
Uh-huh.
I'll take me a crossword puzzle and I'll just sit there and be there with him, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because I didn't catch any fish for 10 years.
Yeah.
Finally, 10 years into the relationship, into the marriage, I caught 3 fish, one outing.
Oh,
And
see, you
so
were
I
better
was,
than that. I had never kept the few times I went, never caught anything. So
but like you
I was just
said, you
trying to
are right.
pick one for the team.
It
Huh?
is, he won't enjoy himself because you know what he ends up doing? Putting my worm on the hook, taking my fish off because I'm not touching
I
it.
wasn't gonna say that part, but that was the part
Yes,
you're gonna end up doing everything. All I'm gonna do is I'll hold it, but that's all I'm gonna
that's
do.
all I can do. I'm with you on that.
Yes.
That's it.
Uh, that is all I'm doing. And
Oh,
I
that's
again
funny.
took one because my little baby's going, but after a while they was like, they just went with him, not
Mhm.
me.
How old are your kids?
I have a 27-year-old.
Oh, grown.
We were actually trying to decide the other day if she's 26 or 27. We think she's 27. We were trying to,
She said,
and
I'm
then my
trying to decide.
oldest
I'm trying to
daughter is
remember.
32. Yes, 32. So
Oh,
yes,
yes.
definitely. I'm
Oh,
a
yes.
proud mom. My youngest is about to graduate from law school at UT in May. So
Oh,
proud mom. Yeah,
congratulations.
thank you. And
Yes,
my
I
other daughter
want to
is
be your
amazing
mom.
too. She's HR. My sister made me a shirt that says, "I don't need a good lawyer. I birthed one."
Hmm. Come through. Yes, indeed. Let me put
Listen,
her on retainer.
there we go. There you go. There you
Mhm,
go.
absolutely.
So, as we
Congratulations.
celebrate Women's History Month, are there any women in history or any figures that you look up to or that you'd like to recognize or mention?
Oh man, so that's funny. Because my husband asked me this. He's like, I'm gonna come to your question. He says, is there any relationship that you just, look up to or model after? And I had to really think about that. But as far as women,
Mhm.
so le- before going way back in history, I am a
Right.
huge Beyonce fan. I am, if the
My
hive is
daughter.
buzzing, I'm a coming. Okay. I am a huge Beyonce fan, and not just because she's an amazing performer, but
Right.
I appreciate her business side of handling things.
That
I
part.
appreciate her work ethic. And so those
Mm-hmm.
are the things that I admire about her.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
she's a great performer, she's good at all that, and people have their
Mm-hmm.
own judgment or
Right.
what have you about
Right.
her. But I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
Different angle. Yeah.
Exactly. So as far as, admiration, I definitely admire her and what she's able to do and how she's able to do what she's doing at the level she's doing it at her age, overcoming, barriers, breaking
Yes.
glass ceilings, doing it her
Definitely.
way, right? But what
Yes.
she did
Yes.
was did it the way she had to until she
Mm-hmm.
got to a point of doing it her way. Right.
Yes.
The crawl
Yes.
before you walk. So there's a
Right.
lot of things that I just really pay attention to as it relates to her.
And
Um,
I don't mean to let me continue right there. It's so funny. There's an organization that has a big Girls Night Out event every year.
mhm,
So
okay.
I went, I get a table, and so I had some ladies join me. But one, they were Beyonce came. Something happened. Oh, I asked that they seen the documentary. And,
Okay.
oh my God, you would have thought absolutely. Well, she wasn't Houstonian. Like they just went in. I don't want to see that because da 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 da. I'm not a fan of Beyonce. So I did what you did. I tried to bring it around to. It's not just her performance.
Yeah.
Think about her businesses. Think about what she does for the community. My daughter actually got invited to it's called Bay something for the entrepreneurship
Yeah.
thing. She
Mhm.
didn't win, but she's a Beyonce super fan. But
Right.
it was the experience. So I was saying, look at these opportunities
Mhm.
and I'm just that type of person, to be honest with you. If you don't like somebody, I don't need to know why. I need to know. I mean, if you just hate
Because you
them
don't
that
know her
much,
personally.
what did you do? What did she do to you? I'm
All
the one that
and
she's
that's
from
the
Houston.
worst. All that, oh, I just can't
Yeah.
stand her. Oh, I don't like her. And why?
And why? And there's no reason. I don't know. I just don't like her. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't understand that. But that day I was on my soapbox because I just saw because one of the things, and not to take this away from you, but one of the
Yeah.
things I enjoyed about the documentary was what I admire all of the flack she gets. One,
Mm,
she gave it back to him in the documentary, and I was like, yes. But
this.
I love the fact that something I admire that I would love to have is that being able to let things roll off my shoulders.
Oh, yeah. You got to be
You're
able to.
upset, people talking about you, you have to make a business decision and everybody's mad at you. I want that to just be like move around. And I love that she just have to just keep moving.
Yeah.
And then she gets better and better and better and better. And that's what I admire about her.
Yes. And she operates unapologetically.
Unapologetically. Yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
she's at a point where she's able to do that unapologetically. Like she's put her work in, she's put her time in.
Put her
So
work
this
in,
is
yeah.
what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. And
Mhm.
I admire that about her. I admire that she's able to lead her crew because people. This is something that I'm going to answer your question. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
something that I hear so much about, and I have to say this because it
Uh-huh.
really boils my skin.
Uh-huh.
People really think from an employee standpoint. They don't think from an ownership standpoint.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
see this post all the time and hear people saying, you're going to do all that work at that company for somebody else. You're going to do this for somebody else or
mhm.
whatever the case may be. Oh, if somebody died, they're going to replace you. So from a business standpoint, I have to chime in and say, if someone dies, is the business not supposed to continue to work?
I love that you
Because
said
there
that.
are other employees here that have to continue to feed their families.
Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong. For me, I do want to take care of and do what I can for a deceased employee,
Mhm,
right? I
mhm.
don't
Yeah,
want to graze
of
over that.
course.
But again, if you don't fill the position, what happens to the rest of the people that
The
are there?
company.
Does it go
They
under?
stop the company, yes.
But that's an employee's mindset.
Mhm,
It's
mhm,
not an ownership mindset because an
mhm.
owner has to replace that person because the business does have to
Has to
continue
go
to
on.
operate.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I am definitely a person that says, hey, we need to acknowledge what's happening here and do whatever we can from a
Right,
professional standpoint to help the family and whatever the case may be. But
right.
when I hear people say, oh, they're going to fill a position,
Yeah, yeah,
wouldn't a
yeah.
company do
And
that?
I'll admit that I posted that, but I never thought about it the way that you just did it.
You see?
So I love that.
When you
Yeah.
think about it from an
Mhm.
ownership
Yes.
position and other people that have to
Mhm.
maintain
Mhm.
lives through
Mhm.
this company, what happens
Definitely.
if when people leave, you don't replace them?
Yeah. So we're just supposed to end the company because yeah.
You know, and all that. Oh, you're gonna work that hard for everybody's not gonna own a business.
It's
And if
not for
you don't
everybody.
like right, and if you don't like the
Mhm.
job, break away and go start your business. Go start
Mhm.
whatever it is,
Mhm.
rather than come to someone else's place of business and complain about what you have to do every day.
That part, definitely.
Now, to go back into your question, can you run it by me one more time because I went left, but I had to say that because
Oh no, no, no! I love it. I was loving. And I have to say something really funny. So I have a middle school and I have 5 elementary schools. And yesterday, um, they're having a Lions festival in the Lions area in Fifth Ward, right?
oh
Saturday.
yeah,
And so one of my schools, they're letting the kids dance at the
okay,
event. But anyway, so she was trying to explain to them who LaToya Luckett was. And
uh-huh,
so of course they didn't know. And because I think these are fifth graders. But anyway, so she
okay.
said, you know Beyonce, and one little girl said, "Oh, you mean Queen Bee? Queen Bee?" I was like, "That is so cute." I
Yes.
said, "Yes, ma'am, Queen Bee." Uh, it was so adorable.
Oh
So
goodness.
they were ready. Now they know that Latoya Luckett was a Destiny Child that's connected to Queen Bee. So, and
Mhm.
which was, but it was so funny how the kids don't know the
Right.
history of it.
Yes.
But anyway, as we celebrate Women's History Month, are there any women in history,
Yes.
any contemporary figures who've inspired or influenced you in your journey?
Right. So Beyonce was one. I definitely love and appreciate Maya Angelou. I really
Mm,
do because her words for me are so
mhm.
motivating.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it really gives me the motivation to push if I have to
Mhm,
push or
mhm,
to appreciate me, the way I am, who I am, right? Those poems and the different things in the videos that I come across and just things that I hear from her. It's just
mhm.
wow.
And it's strengthening. Like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
You touch
yeah.
my soul,
But
right?
even her voice is
It's
commanding.
soothing. It's soothing.
Yes.
It,
Yeah.
it, it
And
is.
when you said her and you think about respect, when you think about her, the word respect just comes out, right? And there was an Oprah, I don't know if you've seen this video, an Oprah Winfrey show, and a young lady said, Maya. And she said, Miss Angela.
I did. I did see that. Put some respect on this name.
That thing. So
Put some respect on this.
yes.
Years of
And
all
like
that
that,
I've
it
done.
goes back again to being able to speak and command the respect
Mhm,
that you
absolutely.
deserve,
And that you've earned.
that you
And then I
learn.
will also say Michelle Obama. I really
Yes, of course.
respect her because
Yeah,
wow, does she have to take some backlash? That's a strong sister,
very strong.
right? To have
Yeah.
to stand next to Barack and take all of that criticism, being a black woman, being super
Mhm.
educated, All right.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. That's already intimidating enough to not only the women, but the men.
The men.
Right.
Definitely the men.
So, oh yes. So
Mm-hmm.
she commands a level of respect, in my opinion, that I feel like she never got, and I don't know if she ever will. But she just never got it because just her level of education, what she brings to the table, and then just her down to earthness. Like I just, if that's a thing,
Yes,
right?
yes,
She's so down
yes,
to earth, in
yes,
my
yes,
opinion. She's like,
yes,
I feel like
yes.
she could sit down at the table and we could just talk.
Can we just talk? We can just
Right? Can we
talk.
just talk?
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah,
Love that
yeah,
about her.
yeah.
So those are people that are on my radar on a regular basis. I didn't
Right.
stretch back too far, but
Of
those
course.
are people that in my everyday I'm taking little nuggets and taking little things
Mm-hmm.
from them and going and pushing.
Okay, yes. I listened because I've fallen in love with Audible, so I don't have to read too
Mhm.
much anymore. But I listened to her book and definitely wish I could just hang out with her.
Yes,
Just yeah, just hang out.
she seems like a girl's
Cicely,
girl.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
She is a
she
girly
is.
girl.
Mhm.
Cicely Tyson is one that I someone asked her, so people tell me, I was like, oh, you just move around, you never stop, you just move, 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 move. And before she passed away, someone asked her when she did her last Tyler Perry film, someone asked her, how do you stay so young? At I
Mm,
think she was like 100 by then, 99 or 100, one of those.
mhm.
And she said, because I don't stop moving.
Exactly.
I keep moving because your bone, you stop moving, your bones shut down, your body shuts down. And I was like, yes, that's it.
You
So
have
yeah.
to, and believe it or not, the sad part about it is that it's so true because you have people that retire. It's like some people's like, I'm just going to stay working. I don't really have to, but I need
Mhm.
something to do because if I don't, then I'm just going to sit here, and then I'm going to deteriorate.
Yes, yes.
So I
Yeah, and
respect
you
that.
start having those things because I can retire in August. I decided to stay another year, but I already
Mhm.
have my mind going on what I'm gonna do. I'm just
What's
retiring
next?
from this.
But I'm
Work
not
for
stopping. I'm
somebody.
just leaving here.
I got some things to do. So
Yeah, I'm leaving here.
I don't want to do the, and I do say I stopped saying I don't want to hit a clock because you still hitting the clock
Oh yeah.
technically for your customers, your clients, or whoever. So I
It's
did
worse
stop
when it's
saying that.
you.
Mhm,
When it's your own
mhm.
business, oh, this clock never shuts off. At
It
least when you
never
leave
shuts
someone
off.
else's job, you are
Right.
able to say, I'm done for the day.
Yeah. Can't do that. Yep.
Oh
Yep. Yep.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Exactly.
Especially
Um.
when that's your primary income.
Definitely. Definitely. What advice would you give to young women who aspire to follow in your footsteps?
Well, this is to my daughter. Like this is like my
There you
book
go.
I'm writing to her. Like, um, be unapologetic in your own truth.
Love that.
Right? Love who you are, even with all of your flaws, because none of us are made perfect. So if it's something that you do not like about yourself, it's okay. We all have our little hang ups that, hey, I wish this was like that, or I wish this was up a little bit higher, or whatever
Mhm.
the case may be. Love exactly who you are and how God made you. Right. And then I also tell, and again, these are things that I have conversations with her about.
Right.
I also really feel like in this day and age, it's like a lot of following. It's a lot of whatever she's doing or he's doing, I'm doing that too.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
this is a middle schooler I'm talking to, my daughter's 7th grade.
Mhm.
So I really preach the individuality, right? I need for you to know who you are and remain, an individual
Yeah.
in this sea of everyone starting to look alike and do things alike,
Looking
you
just
know.
alike.
Yes, everything alike. So I really try and pour that into her. But one thing about my daughter, and I think she gets that from me, is that level of confidence is through the roof. But I would always pour into her as a little girl, you're beautiful. You
Yes.
and she would hear it so much. So in her mind now, regardless of what anybody else tells her, I'm beautiful.
That.
She it no
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It is, and
Mhm.
once you get it here, that's it.
That's it. That's
That's
it.
it.
I've heard
So
that before too. That
yeah.
when you start pouring that into them early.
And I pour
Mhm.
into her that she can do anything, and they really watch, our kids really watch us. My son always says, hey, they're gonna benefit. I was in the gym when y'all was shooting. I remember when y'all had to answer phones in the car and y'all was running and doing this, and he keeps us humble, right? he he
Right. Right.
he,
Right.
he
Right. Right.
reminds us of back
I'm
when.
sure. I'm
Yes, he
sure.
reminds us, and he always says, yeah, they're gonna get all the benefits because hey, over the years we've done better, and he's phasing
Right.
out, and we're still coming up, and we're still growing and still doing better and thriving. So they really see they sing the grassroots of it all. And my
Mhm,
daughter really
mhm.
respects, that what her mom does, what
Yeah,
her mom accomplishes, and that she helps people.
right, right. It's funny how you look back at your kids, and see the things that they're doing. My two daughters are very confident, as you would say.
Hmm.
They're definitely more confident than I am. I'll say I'll say that.
Well, you've done
But
something right.
and that's what I look at. I say,
Mhm.
okay, now I can go. And now they don't let me sometimes. They don't let me take the credit. They let me know, but I have to remind them. I was the one that did this. Without me, you wouldn't
Right?
be here.
It would be no you without me.
Yeah, it's like Tina Knowles says, "Look, I created Beyonce."
Exactly. She got
So
it from somewhere.
you got it from somewhere. So as we come to a close, I just want to ask: do you have? I want you to make sure you give mention your business again and talk about that, how we can check you out, and definitely mention your podcast. I
Yes,
didn't know about that.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
So, anyone interested in additional streams of income, or just retirees who just want to be able to get out of the house and still do work, this really is for anyone. I will be honest. If you're 18 and transitioning out of high school, if you're transitioning out of college, this is definitely an opportunity that you want to look into. Becoming an insurance adjuster is a niche market. It's quiet as kept, but there's lots of opportunity. There's lots of room for growth and excelling, and the earning potential is limitless. So anyone looking to get into insurance adjusting, you can definitely reach out to us. Phone number is 713-737-5244. And then you can also visit our website at that's TRY first, like the number one, ST, source, .com, tryfirstsource.com, and that's our website, and you can visit us at any time and look over programs and packages. And then we do offer, yes ma'am, we do offer scholarship opportunities for individuals that may have disabilities. So if anyone is interested in working, but maybe they need assistance in paying
Mhm.
for courses, we do have ways to help out in that area. And then as far as the Missing Piece podcast, it's the Missing Piece, like PEACE podcast. We host,
Oh,
yes, we host that show together, both my husband and I, and we just talk about life, relationships, single, married, parenting, just anything that you can think of. We have different topics each show. We host on Sundays, and
okay.
we try and do at least 2 shows a month, because our schedules are so busy
Of
and crazy. And
course.
so, and so whenever we're getting ready to post a show or have a show, we'll start posting it a week or so out, giving people an opportunity to get ready for it. So that happens. And for this month, I'm focusing now on, we had a lot of birthdays and stuff, so we weren't really able to do a lot. But April will be kicking off with 2 new shows, top new topics, new hot topics. So it's
Yeah.
just us really being us, uncut, in raw form,
I'll have to check
rare
that
form.
out.
Yes,
Um,
and it's for everyone.
yeah, I have some friends. They're a couple, and they have one that's called "One Marriage, Two Hustlers."
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yes, I'm
I
definitely
like
going to
that.
mention you to them, because they like to have couplepreneurs. They like to do
Okay.
that. So I'll
Yes, share
definitely mention you to them.
info.
I would love to see the four of y'all together. Just hearing your personality, I can imagine your husband, and they have a dynamic uh, camaraderie, if you
Yes.
will. So
I
yes,
like
I would
that.
love to see that. Yeah. Well, I want to
Yes.
thank you again so much for joining me. It was great to meet you. I can't wait to meet you in person. And
Yes.
I'm definitely going to make that happen eventually with several of the people that I've met this year. But thank you so much. Happy Women's History Day.
Yes.
Yes. So, any last words for us tonight?
If I could say anything or leave anything on the table here, it's to tell my girls, baby, eat. Don't leave anything on the table, no crumbs. All right. When you come and go for something, go all the way in, because
Yes,
sometimes that's the only chance you'll get to do it.
that part.
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Absolutely. I will. Thank you so much for having me on. And again, for your platform, being able to put on series like this to put information out to help people. So we appreciate you as well doing what you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye. We'll see
All
you
right. It
soon.
was a pleasure. Uh huh.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye bye.